And here's what we know on this Wednesday night. At least 120 people are dead across the state.
That includes 96 people just in Kerr County, where 60 adults and 36 children were killed.
The number missing is just astonishing, with more than 170 people still unaccounted for. This includes 5 campers and 1 counselor from Camp Mystic. Tonight, we have learned there are more than 2,000 people helping in the search, and a disaster recovery center is opening tomorrow in Kerrville.
We have team coverage for you tonight from the Hill Country and here in the Houston area. Let's start with Matt Doherty, who joins us live in Hunt, where debris is making the search efforts even harder. Matt.
We're standing in an area that's been called the epicenter for the disaster. Camp Mystic is only just about a mile up the road. Crider's Dance Hall is an institution here in the Hill Country. On Friday, it was changed forever. Last week, the oldest open-air dance hall in Texas was preparing for a party. Crider's hosted its first pair of two-steppers on July 4th, 1925.
And everyone liked it so much that they wanted everyone to come back.
For 99 years, the dancing continued.
Yeah, I know it was exactly 2:58 when she called me, and it was all the way up to here.
On the day the dance hall turned 100, the music stopped.
And I ran into the kitchen. I said, let's get out of here, because, man, it was coming fast.
Tracy Moore owns and runs the dance hall and rodeo along the Guadalupe that's been in her family for generations.
We try not to change things.
Last week, Crider's was changed forever. When the flooding finally stopped, the wreckage of a disaster was strewn throughout the property. On its riverbanks were bodies.
That's gonna be heartbreaking. I know it is. Here it comes. Lovely.
Tonight, the location that some say is ground zero for the catastrophe is a command center for a search that never seems to end.
A little small place like this makes a big difference in the world, so.
AJ Nag is the rodeo announcer at Crider's, which hosted bull riding every Saturday night in the summer until now.
We always bounce back.
I don't think there is an explanation. You just kind of got to pick yourself up.
Like a rider thrown from a bull.
Move forward.
Matt, such a powerful symbol of tradition and resilience. Now, do we know if there's any plan to rebuild Crider's, or is it just too soon for that conversation?
No, I mean, the owner says absolutely they will rebuild. However, they don't know when just yet. It will be closed for the rest of the summer season, though. Ron.
You are waymaker, miracle worker, promise keeper.
Tonight, people packed in to pray at a stadium in Kerrville. Organizers say the vigil was a chance for the community to come together in faith, support, and unity.
People in Montgomery County lined the streets as police escorted the body of a Conroe woman killed in the floods. 21-year-old Reese Manchaca was on a girls' trip at the Guadalupe River when she and 3 others were swept away. People who knew the Caney Creek graduate say she lit up every room she walked into.
In Humboldt, people remembered Rob and Melissa Kamen, who both died in the flooding. They were known for their generosity and love of the outdoors. Melissa, who worked as a nursing and rehab physical therapy assistant in Deerbrook, her friend and colleague talked about their last conversation.
Last week, my last words were to her on the text message. It said, "Get some rest, woman of God." That was my last words. And our hope is in Him. Absent from the body is present with the Lord.
The Kamen family is asking for privacy as friends and co-workers continue to honor their memory.
Tonight, NASA confirms it has deployed specialized aircraft to help with flood recovery in the Texas Hill Country. It could be critical in search, rescue, and recovery efforts in that area. Stephen Goen joins us live now. How did this come together, and just how many aircraft are in play here, Stephen?
Mia, we know that NASA has 2 different aircrafts in the Hill Country right now. We're told that initially clouds had blocked the satellite view, so NASA wanted to get researchers flying directly overhead to help with those recovery efforts. From Ellington Field in Houston, this NASA WB-57 aircraft now in the sky over the Texas Hill Country, a part of the response from NASA's Disaster Response Coordination System activated after those deadly floods. Why did NASA decide to step in here?
We do this because this is something that we are uniquely able to provide. This is an honor for us to be able to support these efforts.
NASA's acting associate administrator, Vanessa Weiss, says that aircraft is equipped with sensors most often used during NASA launches. But in this case, that technology, it'll be used to provide high-resolution imagery of the terrain.
That have special radar sensors that are able to be used day and night. We also have the ability for us to be able to see through cloud cover.
A second aircraft, a Gulfstream 3 from NASA's Armstrong Flight Research Center in California, will also be deployed with another specialized radar system.
It has the capability of doing search and rescue with special sensors that allow us to be able to look below and into the vegetation.
In addition to those aerial surveys, NASA is still using satellites to track conditions on the ground, sharing all that information in real time with first responders. It's data that we're told will be used now and to plan for what's next.
To either aid in recovery efforts and or help us to pinpoint so that we can maybe get in front of these things going forward into the future.
Now, I did ask NASA if any of the crew on board these planes were trained astronauts. They said it's possible. Of course, NASA has a lot of other pilots capable of doing this job. NASA says that these crews will be flying overhead for a few more days, and they could be in the area even longer as recovery efforts continue. Ron, back to you.
All right, thank you so much, Stephen. Going tonight, other businesses are trying to salvage what they can. Orco Manna spoke with one business right along the Guadalupe River about the destruction they're seeing and what they plan to do now.
This cottage rental business here in Kerrville is left picking up the pieces days after the floods damaged several units. As their cleanup begins, so does the search for financial help.
The water was up to here, and if you look down there, I mean, it's just most of the cottages, this is what we're dealing with.
The mud on the ground is just one reminder of the devastating flooding that swept through River Trail cottages on the 4th of July. The local business, which has been around for decades, sits right next to the Guadalupe River.
Our entire park was underwater.
And the inside of many of the cottages sustained heavy damage. Manager Alex Sadillo tells me he never expected this.
People sometimes worry, well, you're next to a river. Will it ever get that high? And I would always tell them, no, it would take a flood that you just could not imagine. Boy, it's amazing that I ate my words.
Around 12 people were staying here Friday morning. Cars pushed onto the property from the street when the floodwaters rose, even slamming this RV into one of the cottages.
They barely got out, so.
But everyone made it out safely.
Everyone made it out safely.
Now the focus is on cleaning up the debris.
It's going to go into the thousands as far as we're concerned here.
And rebuilding what they can. But the future of this well-loved landmark,
we're going to take a big hit,
is still uncertain.
Hopefully we can get some government assistance and maybe some state assistance.
We've learned that FEMA and the Small Business Administration will be opening a disaster recovery center tomorrow at First Baptist Church here in Kerrville. Reporting from Kerrville, Orco Manna, KHOU 11 News.
Tomorrow, join KHOU 11 in Tegna, Texas, as we host a special flood relief telethon. Our volunteers will be ready to take your calls for donations. That's from 4 to 7 p.m. tomorrow, and thank you in advance for your help.